Welcome to Ravindra Puri's podcast, Decoding Life. Isn't life an extraordinary thing? Trees, flowers, animals, birds, forest, ocean. All this is life. Men and women, girls and boys, kids and adults is life. Love, hatred, misery, desires, joy, sadness is also life. All this and much more is life. Having a job and earning livelihood is an important part of life. But it's just a small part of life. Life is extraordinary and profound. Unfortunately, most of us explore only a small part of life. We go to school and colleges, get job, get married, give birth to children, and then live a mechanical life. All this is just a small corner of life. We are scared of risks, fears, failures, losses, which prevents us from exploring many aspects of life, and we miss the whole point of life. A kid knows that he will grow up and get a job. An adult knows that he will earn money, have kids, and get old. Isn't it similar to the rut in which an animal cart runs? Cart goes where the rut goes. Similarly, when we just follow the society, we are like a cart in a rut, following a pattern of mechanical life. There are many who challenge the pattern of life. My friend Tam is one of them. I know Tam for a very long time and have seen him going through many interesting stages of life, which challenge the typical mechanical pattern of life. I always wondered, where did he get the courage to live such an unconventional life? One day, I found the secret of his unconventional life. He follows principle of throwing a dice. I learned about his dice principle only after an incident which rest of the society may call a crazy behavior. It started when Tam was traveling in Europe. He was in the Madrid airport to catch a flight to Ibiza. Flight was delayed by 7 hours. A normal person would get frustrated with such delays. But Tam is always known for turning adversities into opportunities. He decided to explore the airport. He is extrovert and can make friends easily. He was having a coffee in a cafe. That's when he noticed that a beautiful girl next to him was also on her way to Ibiza. And soon they become friends. When it was time for flight, Tam felt that he could have easily spent few more hours chatting with that lovely girl. But life brought a little twist in the story. Their seats in the flight were far from each other and the weather was stormy. So they had to remain seated in their seats all the time. After landing, somehow they missed each other and could not exchange their contacts. Tam finished his travel and returned to Australia. He told me about his small love story, and I thought the story got over. A week later, he contacted the hostel where that girl was supposed to stay in Ibiza and requested for her email ID. He wrote in the email how he fell in love with that girl. Hostel refused to share details because of customer privacy policy. Surprisingly, a week later, someone from the hostel asked him to call the hostel and explain the situation. He tried that and he got the email ID. Tam calls this process as throwing a dice, which translates as, if you don't do anything, nothing will happen. So do something so that something will happen. When you throw a dice, expecting 6, you may not get 6, but you will definitely get a number. any number which you get is better than nothing. In this case, he threw a dice and luckily he got what he wanted. Then he threw another dice. He wrote a letter which was 7 pages long and emailed it to that girl. No response almost for a month. But Tam was still happy as he felt that he expressed his feelings. One day, there was response. Girl was surprised with the email but felt happy that Tam liked her. They started exchanging emails, then messages, phone calls, and finally video calls. But there was another twist. Girl is from Peru and was studying in UK. Tam was in Australia. Girl expressed this concern to Tam. Tam decided to throw another dice. One day, while returning from work, he just booked tickets to UK and poured all his savings into travel. Within a week's time, he left for London. Girl was surprised to see Tam. They met few times and Tam was back in Sydney after a week. He had thrown his dice. Somehow he felt that things will not work, but he was proud that he did what his heart said, and he would never regret that. Finally, girl agreed to get into relationship with Tam, and Tam threw another dice. Resigned from well-paid government job, packed his bags, and went to London to work and live with that girl. I thought he would fall into rut, but he kept throwing dice along with his partner and still giving surprises to his own life. Everyone wants to try comfort, a cozy life, but Tam also believes in taking risks, tasting failures, feel losses, and convert all these experiences into his own real treasures of life. It is easy to live according to your family, teachers, and society, but then it is living someone else's life. That life will be safe, an easy way of existing, but not living. You can appreciate life's beauty, richness, its depth, only when you revolt against traditions, against society, so that you as a human being find out the process of life. Life is really very beautiful. It is not this ugly thing that we have made of it. It's just we have to explore it as much as we can. Thank you for listening to my podcast. If you would like to listen to my future episodes, then please subscribe to my podcast Decoding Life on your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, Radio Public, etc. You can leave your comments and feedback on my website www.ravindrapuri.com. See you next time.